Okay, welcome to Succah, Succah Daf Beis, Succah number 2. For a lot of people, this is probably the first time you're catching a shir of mine. I titled my shir the Daf Yomi vlog. I don't know if people are confused about that a little bit, what exactly the shir is. For all of you who may be interested to know, it's a regular Daf Yomi shir. Very quick, to the point, clear and concise. I have a number of years of experience as a Maggid Shir. No, I was never a Maggid Shir, but this is my first time as a Maggid Shir. But I've learned for many years, 15, 20 years. I learned Succah a lot of times. I think there was one time I even learned Succah like 7 times in like 3 weeks.
Wow.
Is that a lot?
That's
pretty good, right? Anyway, I have a lot of experience, and I'm going to give the shir in a quick, to the point, a little bit of background information. You'll get more background information as you go through Shas. I figure, this is my idea, this is my evaluation of Daf Yomi, is that most people in Daf Yomi, they don't remember too much of what they learned. Why do they do Daf Yomi? If they're not going to remember what they learned, if they're not going to get into in-depth learning, in-depth learning could take a long time, could take a whole day to learn a couple of lines of Gemara. The answer is that Daf Yomi is a limud that you get something new every day, something fresh every day. It's a sound like Joey Newcomb says in his song, right? You don't have to be Litvish to learn the Torah, but you got to learn some Torah, some Torah to be a Yid, right? Joey Newcomb, I learned with him in a kollel in Far Rockaway at one point.
He's going to come here?
Before he was famous.
Oh.
Yeah, Joey Newcomb's going to come. He's going to join me and Shmuel. He's going to play music in the background while we're learning. Anyway, you have to learn some Torah to be a Yid. It's a great thing to learn if you're going to learn something every day, to learn it. But, I say like this, half an hour is plenty of time to give a whole share over, including some jokes, some entertainment, some relevant information, some knowledge about the world. Most people who learn Daf Yomi are more worldly than a lot of people who sit in base medrash all day. I have a lot of knowledge about that also. We'll get into that. So it's going to be entertaining. It's going to be under a half an hour every day, just like a sitcom. If Jerry Seinfeld could have a show in a half an hour and have humor in a half an hour, I could do it also in a half an hour. So we're going to give you Daf Yomi plus a vlog, which is informal or casual conversation that comes up relevant to the Daf. Let's begin. Succah Daf Beis. Shmuel, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah? Shmuel, how long do you plan on sticking with me for?
After that speech, I think I'm on my way.
Shmuel,
I think it's time to leave now. I think I disagree with everything.
Am I going to see you in the...
Except for maybe the...
Am I going to see you in MetLife Stadium 7 years from now?
Oh, when are the Giants are going to be... What?
The Jets are not playing that day. They don't play football while they have to see them.
No, it's going to be on... When is it going to be? It's
Actually, the Jets got that new quarterback. What's that guy's name? Zach Wilson?
Belichick?
Zach Wilson. No, second pick, I think. Hopefully it'll be good. I hope so. I'm a Jets fan. All right, let's start. We have a half an hour. Shmuel, half an hour. Let's go. Sukkah sheik vol l'malam es shemama. A sukkah that's taller than 20 amos. Psula. The Rabbanan hold it's puzzle. We're going to see in the Gemara why. Rabbi Yehuda Machshir. Rabbi Yehuda says it could be presumably as tall as you want. V'she'ena gvo asar tfachim. What is another psul by sukkah? If it's not 10 tfachim tall. V'she'en la shalish defanos. Doesn't have 3 walls. As less, we're going to see in the Gemara 2 and a tefach is okay. You don't have to have a full 3 walls. The Gemara will explain the reasoning for all these things. If the schach of your sukkah allows more sunlight than shade, so then it's possible, because Rashi says that the reason that a sukkah is called a sukkah is because of the schach, and if rov of the schach is not there, only a mita is there, so you go basar rov, you go after the majority, and you don't have schach. Gemara says, Tan hasa mavui shugavo ma'asr ma'ama yimoid. If you're mavui, what's a mavui? A mavui is those are people who learn Succah. So Eruvin, it's talking about an alleyway, a side street. Sometimes it has 2 openings on each side. Sometimes it's a dead end on one side. Basically, if you want to carry all the people, the houses that live in the Mavoi, they have to get together on Shabbos to carry. If there was no Eruv, they have to make a shituf mavos. They have to put some bread together, and joined together in order to make it different from a shara. And people should know you have to put a lechi or a kura. A lechi is a stick. Kura is a crossbeam. You have to put that on top. And if the kura, the crossbeam is higher than 20 amos, it's pasul. It's also pasul. According to the Esremama, you might.
Kura or a kura?
I always called it a kura.
Kura. I think it's a type of luxury car, an Kura. No?
Acura.
Oh, Acura. Oh.
Who knows? I think Acura is the luxury brand of which car?
Yeah.
I think it's Nissan. No.
Okay.
Acura is Nissan.
I don't know.
Not sure. All right. If it's taller than 20 amos, you lower. You have to make it lower. Rabbi Yehuda Omer Eino Star. He says it's okay to be above 20 amos. Ma'ishna Gabi Sukkah Dani Psula. Why by Sukkah do we say the word pasul, which sounds like you can't really fix it? Umayshna Gabi Mabu Tani Takanta that says just Gimai, you should lower it. Sukkah do rice. The answer is Sukkah do rice Tani Psula. Sukkah, which is from the Torah, so we say pasul. And Rashi explains pasul because already at Har Sinai it said it was pasul, and the Mishnah was written down after by Rebbe after the Torah. So it's pasul from way back when. Mabui Rabbanan, Dani Tani Takanta. The Mabui, which is only the Rabbanan established later on. It's only a din derabbanan. When you do rice, so you don't need a lechi or a kobra. It's either the Rabbanan said takanta. They basically told you how to do it. V'bay same. But the rice and nami tani takanta. Really, it would be applicable to say the word takanta even by a din del rice. Me was sukkah, then efficient mile pasuk with honey psula. There's many different disqualifications in the Mishnah. You have less than 3 walls. You have less than 10 tfachim. Kamas amrubim mitzilsa. So therefore, it would have to say all the different ways of fixing it. So therefore, it only shows one word to say psula, which covers all of them. Mavoi, which is only one din. So therefore, I told you how to fix it. Minani milis. Now the Gemara says, how do you know, according to the Rabbanan, that above 20 amos is pasul? Amar Rabba, the Amar Kral, man yedu dorasechem ki besukos hoshavti as bnei Yisrael. So your generation should know that I caused bnei Yisrael to sit in the sukkos. So Rabbah interprets this pasuk as talking about you actually have to know about the sukkah. Sukkah comes towards schach. You have to know about the schach. If the schach is within 20 amos, you know you're sitting in the sukkah. You see the schach. A person generally doesn't let his eyes travel so high into the air. Above 20 amos, he's not going to see the schach. He's not going to be yodeya. He's not going to know that he's sitting in a sukkah. We'll see on the Gemara on Amud Beis where the Gemara says that if the walls actually go to the schach, it can be higher.
Why would you need such a big sukkah, such a tall sukkah anyway? It's like sort of, it's just extra work. You know what I mean? Why would you want to build a 20-hour sukkah? It's like just
to show off, no? Show off. Yeah, listen, people have big houses. Why do you need a mansion with 10 bedrooms and 10 bathrooms or whatever? Why do you need such a big house?
Right.
You don't need it. People build these houses with 26, 28. They make tons of money, and the NFL, NBA, whatever. They buy these houses at 28 bedrooms. They don't have any kids. They don't have a family. Why are they buying? They're gonna have 28 guests at their house. I mean, when? I don't know. Listen, in Israel it's different. They have 3-bedroom apartments.
Rent it out. In Israel, you could rent out make a lot of money. You could rent out each room.
Rent out the sukkah?
Well, you make little apartments. You can make a lot of money.
Why are they renting out? They're not renting out. They have enough money. They don't need more money.
Okay, that's
all right.
Question.
So you're not going to see it. You're not going to see the sukkah. Reb Zera is a different answer. Mahacha. The reason it's pasuk 20 amos is for the following reason. Sukkah diyel etzel yom on the pasuk. When it's talking about in Yemos Mashiach, what the houses are going to look like in Yemos Mashiach. You ever see like Judaica? They print what's going to look like in the Lost Lavo. They see the houses with the windmills and the 3 doors in the house. The small little houses, a lot of windows, a lot of doors, open doors without even a door, just a doorway. You've seen those? Yeah. That's what it's talking about. Really? So yeah, Sukkah Diyel Etzel Yomam. You're going to have a covering which will provide you from the shade, from the hot weather. It says the word sel, which is shade. Until 20 amos, you're in the cell, you're in the shade of the sukkah, of the schach. So the Gemara is going to say we're talking about a very small sukkah over here, 4 amos sukkah. So therefore it's only 4 amos wide and 4 amos long. So the actual schach is very high. So therefore, the sun is gonna be blocked by the walls, not by the Succah. Now, people will say that it will be blocked at noon, and the sun's above your heads. The Succah will provide some shade, but the answer is that Sukkot falls out in. This is what our school says. It falls out in the autumn, so the sun is in the south of the sky, so it never really is directly over the sky.
Really?
That's what our school says. Yeah,
I like that.
So the Gemara says, "Amalei Abaye, El Me'ata hostes Sukkos b'Ashros Karnayim Hachanami Lavi Sukkah." If you make it in a place, Ashros Karnayim is a place, a valley that had tall mountains. So you're gonna have shade from the mountains, not from your sukkah, not from the Sukkah. Amalei Hasam Da Ashros Karnayim Ika Sel Sukkah. If you took away the mountains, you would have shade of the Sukkah. Hacha Dal Tfanos Lega Sel Sukkah. If you took away the walls, you would have no shade because the whole shade is coming from your walls. Rav Amar Mahach. Rav is a third reason 20 amos is possible, above 20 amos. Basukkos Teishu Shivas Yamim. It says Basukkos Teishu Shivas Yamim. It could have said Teishu Shivas Yamim Basukkos. The fact that it says the word Basukkos prior to Shivas Yamim, Amar Torah Kol Shivas Yamim Same B'diras Kvav Shev B'diras Are. Leave a permanent structure and go to a temporary structure. Sukkos is defined by 7 days. The actual structure of your sukkah is a 7-day structure. In order to make a structure of a sukkah that's above 20 amos, you're going to have to make it with good foundations, and that'll be something which is a permanent, and that would not fulfill the mitzvah of sukkah.
Yeah, well, anyway, in the midbar, they didn't have these.
Mitzvah, they had clouds, right?
They had, even if you had sukkahs, but they didn't. They were on the way. They're not going to build a 20 amma sukkah if they're going to have to dismantle it in another. When
they didn't build sukkahs. They had clouds. They had clouds. I mean, it's a machlokas. They had clouds or sukkahs, but
yeah, okay.
We say ananei kavod.
It's a halacha, you mean?
I think that's the way you paskin. We'll see later on. All right. Amar le'abaye to Rav el ma'ata asam achitz shel barzel v'sich al gab anachanami lavisuk. If you're telling you need a temporary structure, so you make the walls out of iron. It should also be possible. That's not temporary. Iron walls. Nobody even makes houses out of iron walls. Amar le'hachi kamin alach ad esram amad adam osa diras ara ki aver diras kva nami napik. Until 20 amos, it's possible theoretically to make a temporary structure. But if you're making it 20 amos or higher, it has to be a permanent structure. It can't theoretically be less. So therefore, must be the requirement of the pasuk is to make it until 20 amos, where it's theoretically possible to make a temporary structure.
This is or Darabanan. It sounds like it's Daraisa. I mean,
it's Daraisa, the pasuk. All
the
these
20 amos, all this is Daraisa. Okay.
Yeah, it's in Daraisa.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
All right, so the Gemara says, we're on Amud Beis now. Kulu karabalo amri, hahu yidil adorosi. The reason they didn't say, now the three opinions stated in the Gemara, why you can't, it has to be within 20 amos. Rab, why do the other opinions not say like Rabba, hahu yidil adorosi? The pasuk says, Laman yedu doroseichem, keep us close to Shafias b'nei Yisrael. That's just that they should know in future generations that to remember the Ananei Akava. That's one of the mitzvahs when you go into the sukkah. For all those people that are machmer halacha, when you eat that bread, you eat your ton of bread when you're tedvav. Remember that? Everyone, it's a halacha. No one knows. I mean, unless you're yeshivish, only yeshivish people know about the halacha. You're supposed to eat a kibbutz of bread, and then also people eat a kibbutz of bread, and they dip it. They don't dip it in honey because it has to be like the matzah, and they do a haseba. I think my brother-in-law actually orders matzah on Pesach, so the extra box of matzah for sukkahs. He eats matzah for that.
Really?
Yeah, tedvav.
He also has 4 kosos of wine. I mean, this is it's getting a little bit.
He doesn't drink. No. He doesn't drink. But he leans. I think he leans actually.
He leans.
He leans in his sukkah.
So what does Rabbi say? Rabbi said, "Zman yedidar seichem." That's why.
So therefore, it's talking about just remember one of the things when you eat that kazayis, you have to remember. When you sit in the sukkah that it was to remember the Ananei Akava that protected Klal Yisrael in the midbar. Reb Zera nami lo amri. The reason they don't say that Reb Zera, who said it was because of you need to sell sukkah. Holy most Mashiach would say that pasuk. The sukkah tiyel sell yomam. It should be for shade. The Succah provides shade. That's just talking about Yemos HaMashiach. It's not talking about before the mitzvahs that apply nowadays. Reb Zera, what does Zera retort to that? I could have just said a covering tiyel sell yomam. My v'sukkah. Why v'sukkah? It says the word sukkah to tell you the extra chiddush that even nowadays you need the sale of a sukkah. The reason they didn't say like Rava Mishum Kushed Abai. The reason the other two Maram didn't say like Rava is because Abai really asked a good question. He says you should make a, according to you, if it's possible if you make a sukkah with iron walls, and we really know that should be kosher. Kaman Azla, the Gemara is going to bring some statements modifying the positions we saw in Amar Aleph. Kaman Azla Hadam Rabbi Yoshi Amarav Machlokes Rein Fanos Magios Succah. He said, Rav said that the machlokes between Rabbi Yehuda and the Rabbanan in the Mishnah of 20 amos is only when the walls don't reach the Succah. Even the Rabbanan will be moda that above 20 amos is kosher. Kiman kirabba, like Rabba. Who is this going? Like Rabba's reasoning in the Mishnah. The Amar Mishum Delo Shalta Ba'ina, that came on the Tefanos Magilas Succah, Mishnah Shalta Ba'ina. Once the walls reach the Succah, so therefore, people will see the schach because you'll follow the schach. Rashi says, follow the wall up to the schach. The Ra, a different shot from our scroll. You like this? He says that you feel once you have three walls, so you feel like it's tall walls. You feel like you're constrained, so you'll feel like you're boxed in. So you'll look up and you'll see the schach. Right? I don't think he says you'll look up. He says that you'll feel that there's schach above you. All right. Lamdanim out there.
Very interesting.
Go buy your copy of your.
I like that art scroll. Very good. Keep up the art scroll. Arith.
So, Kaman Azza Hadamu Rav Huna Maram Achogish Ein Ba'el Arba Amos Larba Amos. Vayish Ba Yosem Arba Amos Larba Amos. I feel the Malam Esrim Amak Shera. He modifies the Machlokes in our Mishnah. It's talking about only a structure of 4 amos. If it's more than 4 amos, even the Rabbanan Vimoda could be above 20 amos. Kiman Karabzera, it's like Rabzera, the Amar Mishum Sel, you need shade from your schach, who became in the Ravicha, Ika Sel Sukkah. Once the bottom of the sukkah is wider, so therefore you'll have more schach, and you'll have Sel Sukkah. I think they say the explanation, the majority explanation over here is that it's a ratio, meaning 4 to 20 amos, so therefore every time you increase the width and length of your sukkah, you can put it a little higher, you can put it 1/5 higher. So otherwise it wouldn't make sense, because then if it's a little bigger, it's 4.1 amos, and then you build your sukkah to Shamayim, right?
It's not gonna.
You want to meet Jeff Bezos in space, him or Richard Branson. They're both trying to rush to space now. The first billionaire to get to space.
By the way, there were people in space already.
The first billionaire. Jeff Bezos, the richest guy in the world, Amazon.
Really?
Machlokes in the Mishnah is only when it is holds the width and the length of the sukkah is the amount to hold your head and most of your body and your shulchan, which is much less than 4 amos. By 4 amos. This is 7 tefachim by 7 tefachim. He says that even the Rabbanan will be moda. Kiman the lokicha. This wouldn't make sense according to any of the man amars. So Tosu says, what's the reasoning behind this statement? Is that the reason that if it's only machzekas rosh urubav shulchano, then it's like a lul shaltarna golem. It's like a chicken coop, and chicken coop obviously is possible for sukkah. It's made for chickens, not for people. But that wasn't given in Amid Aleph.
Why? Because it's tall. I mean, it's like that's what it looks like. Tall. It's chicken
yeah,
coop is tallish.
Tall and skinny. I mean,
skinny,
it's a bad prison. I mean, solitary confinement.
It looks like a rocket ship. That's what I'm telling you. Okay.
Shmuel wants to go to space.
I don't want to go to space.
Listen, I'm going to call up Jeff Bezos later. I'll tell him you want to go.
Bezos.
All right?
I don't like the name. It's not like Bozo. Bezos.
I think that's the way you pronounce it. All right.
Weird name.
I feel my last round. I'm sure. Rabbi Yoshia, Pligi, Rav Huna, Rav Chanamba, Rabba. We had 3 modifications over here. So Rabbi Yoshia makes sense why he said his modification, not the other 2. He was saying something unique. He was saying something about the walls going to the schach. He wasn't talking about the length and width of the sukkah. The maybe their statements have nothing to do with qualifying the machlokes between Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbanan in our Mishnah. They're just a machlokes. We'll see later in the Gemara is machlokes how big your sukkah has to be. Does it have to be 4 by 4 amos, or 7 by 7 tefachim is okay? So the Gemara says low. The chulei alma hechsher sukkah rosh shulchano. Everyone agrees, which we paskin like it's a rosh shulchano. Only 7 by 7 is good enough. What's their machlokes? The Gemara says machlokes rosh shulchano pligi. One mandamar holds the machlokas Rabban and Rabbi Yehuda is machazek Rosh Shulchano. Aval Yosem Rosh Shulchano Dibra Kol Kshera. Everyone was Kshera because it's not like a little Shulchan and golden. Marsam Rosh Shulchano Dalet Amos Pligi Aval Yosem Dalet Amos Dibra Kol Kshera. 4x4 Amos is kosher. Because like we said that it's going to be because of Sel Sukkah like Reb Zera. Meisive. Sukkah Shehi. So we're going to have a question over here on Rabbi Yehuda Shita. Sukkah Shigvo Lamal Mesr Mama Psula Vida Machshi Ad Arba Mechamish Mama Am Rabbi Yehuda Maise Behilni Amalka Baluj Aisa Sukkah Gvo Mesr Mama Vayuz Kein Mechnasin Vyosin Lisham Lo Amrula Davar. So the question is, it's actually a question on the Rabbanan. The Rabbanan say 20 hours. Rabbi Yehuda is bringing a proof from Hilni Amalka. When he says everybody Mecham Mishamama, it's Lav Dafka. It's just an example. It could be even more. So the question over here is Rabbi Yehuda says it was a Maisa with Hilni Amalka. Who is Hilni Amalka?
The queen.
She was a queen. Yeah, she was a queen.
I mean, she had all this fancy.
She ruled over Turkey and Iraq,
and
she lived part of in a convert, and she lived in Eretz Yisrael. Her sukkah was Gvoa Me'esrim Amal. I used came Nichnas and the Yotzin L'Sham. The Chachamim would walk in and V'lo Amrlo Davar. They didn't say anything. You see, it could be taller than 20 Amos. So the Rabbanan answered back, Amrlo Misham Rai. There's no proof from there. Isha Haisa Ptura Min Sukkah. She's an Isha. An Isha doesn't have to sit in the sukkah. It's a mitzvah to say Shas Mangrama. Nashar Ptura. That's why they didn't say anything. Amar Lehen V'lo Shiva Banim Habula. Didn't she have 7 children? V'ol Kol Ma'aseh Lo Asal Pi Chachamim. And also, she listened to Chum for everything. So the Gemara says, "Lamli the misni va'od kol ma'aseh lo asab b'cham." Just say the fact he has 7 children, and once you have 7 children, I'm going to finish. Once you have 7 children, so one of them is higia lechinach. Since one of them is higia lechinach, so she has to mechanich them to mekayim the mitzvah. Haki Gemara lahu ki tamru banim ktanim hayu v'ktanim pturim in a sukkah. Maybe you'll tell them they're banim ktanim and they're paturim in a sukkah. I'll be done in 1 second. Kevon the Shiva Havu, since they're maybe they're Ktanim and Tonim Partim and Sukkah, Kevon the Shiva Havu, Yev Shul Havu Chache and Asrachlima. One of them is not going to need the assistance of the mother, and she'll be Chayiv to Mechanech that child, so she has to have a kosher Sukkah. The Chitem Rokat and Shin Asrachlima, Midarabanu the Mechayev, even the Rabbanan Lam Mishkach, maybe Chinach is only the Rabbanan. And she's not worried about their abundance. Tashma, Od, Kol Ma'aseh Lo Aseh B'Chacham. She listened to Chum for everything, even their abundance. So therefore, it is a good proof. Rabbi Yehuda says that her sukkah could be above 20 amos. Now, just to end off with a little lumdus over here, Akiva Eger asks the question. He says, mothers are not chayiv in chinuch from a Gemara in Nazir. Is it possible that she could be chayiv in chinuch over? The Gemara says she listened to Chum. She was mechayiv in chinuch. Answer the question. I'll give a quick answer. Maybe you'll like this, Shmuel. The father is chayiv to mechanech his children. That's so long as the father is around. We're talking about. She sounds like the father wasn't around with her. Mm-hmm. If she was divorced, I don't know exactly that time of her life. She was divorced. The father wasn't around. Then the mother obviously is chayiv in chinuch. That could be a possible answer. Kirger's kasha. Shmuel, how'd you like today's shir?
Great.
Are you coming back tomorrow?
I'm coming.
Everyone come back tomorrow.
Maybe.
What do you mean maybe? Best shir in the world. Come back tomorrow. Enjoy some more. Have a good day. Bye.